Tonight, a familiar face joins a race for grey, and Port Augusta's new MP meets with a local high school to discuss the recent spate of violence.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening, everyone. The race for the seat of Grey has a new but familiar candidate. Wudinna businesswoman Liz Haberman will run as an independent, just weeks after narrowly falling short of winning the state seat of Flinders.
A new election, a new challenge for this political upstart. Liz Haberman is taking her aspirations to the national level, with the largest federal electorate in the state in her sights. The baker says the results in Flinders and March state election showed her there is a need for change.
The results that I did receive, I think, proves that people are ready for change and they're smart, they're educated now, they're sort of being more involved in politics these days.
Grey has been a Liberal stronghold for nearly 30 years, held by Rowan Ramsey since 2007. While there might be a different electorate, Liz says the problems are similar.
Roads and rail, you know, we've lost our rail network throughout the majority of regional SA, and our roads just can't handle the traffic that's on them at the moment.
Local issues in Wudinna also at the forefront of her campaign.
Where I live in Wudinna, the nuclear waste facility is something that I don't believe should be put at Kimber, and I'll be making a stand about that as well. That there's plenty of other places that are more suitable.
The state of regional healthcare also a concern.
On sort of the top of my agenda, but the health, and that seems to be broken in a lot of places, unfortunately.
The election will be held on May 21st. Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A spotlight has once again been cast on Port Augusta's Edenfield family care facility. Concerned families voicing their disgust at reports an occupant allegedly developed a spine-deep bed sore due to understaffing. The private care provider failed multiple safety standards after an aged care quality and safety investigation last year.
Going to have to keep this labour shortage in aged care is a very critical issue at the moment.
Mr. Ramsey says systems are needed to ensure the elderly are looked after. The member for Stewart is calling for more investment in support services after 2 recent incidents of fights at a Port Augusta school. But he's also pleased moves are already being made to create a safer environment.
Checking in on local students. After online videos of students fighting shocked Port Augusta parents earlier this month, the member for Stewart has gone to the school to assess the situation.
I'm working with the principal there, with the education department and also the police, and the school is first up there, very concerned about any behaviour issues on the site.
I'm sure the school will act on antisocial behaviour or abuse or any type of thing like that now that they've seen that.
After speaking with the principal and the education department, he is confident that the incidents are not a result of any failings by school staff.
That is a very unusual. It's an issue that happened outside of the school hours, outside of the school grounds, and they're very concerned about that.
Yeah, look, I don't think we can blame the school at all for what's occurred. This is an individual's choice to do the act they did.
All parties are agreeing the school needs more support services to prevent things like this happening in the future.
I implore people, we do have to be very stringent. We need to be very caring at our schools because they're our children, they're our future, and we need to make certain that they are in a safe and well-being location.
But for now, the member for Stewart says the students looked in high spirits during his visit.
The students there were absolutely fantastic. I had a look at the new operation there, the new extensions and things like that. Absolutely brilliant.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The Monday Bash is in full swing near Broken Hill, with thousands of music lovers from across Australia hitting the region. A number of the country's most well-known performers taking to the stage today.
The inaugural Monday Bash is underway, with thousands of people flocking to the plains to enjoy 3 days of music. The crowd enjoying every minute of the bash. However, some were worried it may have been called off after the torrential rain drenched the area earlier in the week.
The volunteers are just doing an amazing job, let alone the organisation and stuff, because there was talk that it may have been moved or cancelled with the rain on Tuesday.
While music is the focal point of the bash, There are other events for people to enjoy. From Monday undie runs through to doggy fashion shows and stalls, there's something for everyone. Patrons can also fly high thanks to helicopter rides.
Oh, the music's been amazing. The Monday undie run, the Monday's Got Talent. Every organisation that's here, it's amazing.
Those camping on site say event staff have done a good job with the amenities.
Fantastic. The eco toilets are fantastic. The event is really well thought out.
As for who the crowd enjoyed on day one,
the fundamentals, they're awesome. They're awesome, yeah, so good. Fundamentals, definitely. They're good fun, they get the crowd going, good music, bit of mixes of genres and all that.
To be honest, just all of them. Last night was fantastic.
The bash will conclude tomorrow with Paul Kelly and John Williamson headlining.
Still to come tonight, the Salt Festival prepares to get underway for another year, and our region prepares to commemorate ANZAC Day. Welcome back. Monday marks the 107th anniversary of Australian and New Zealand troops landing at Gallipoli. Our local communities have been hard at work preparing to commemorate our armed forces at ANZAC Day ceremonies.
Local RSLs are prepared and ready for ANZAC Day. Port Augusta will be holding a 6:30 a.m. dawn service and a civic service at 10:30.
Come down to Glasson's Square on dawn service day and bid to veterans and shake a veteran's hand.
The Mayor excited to see the return of the full commemorations after a COVID-induced hiatus.
ANZAC Day is a very important day. Unfortunately, it's been a little bit sombre in attendance due to the COVID restrictions. But look, I look forward to attending a large crowd and showing our praise for those people that have fallen for us across the country.
Those that can't march, well, we've got one of our members who's got a Jeep. He can give them a ride on.
The RSL inviting the community into their Fulham Road branch where stories of our region's diggers will be shared.
All those things should be remembered by the community, particularly the young people. I encourage all the schools to bring the students there on the day.
The member for Stewart and the newly appointed Veteran Affairs Minister, hoping it will highlight the great sacrifices of our soldiers.
Trying to get on top of the issues of the health and well-being of our families, of our veterans going forward. So again, looking forward to that one, but looking forward to participating in both Port Pirie Dawn Service and the Port Augusta Civic Service at 10:30.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The South Australian Government has announced certain TAFE courses will be restored in metropolitan campuses, reversing the previous government's policy. Discussions are also underway to allow the resumption of key courses at regional centres.
It's a move the state government says will bolster vocational education across South Australia. TAFE courses in aged, disability and childcare to be reintroduced at metropolitan campuses. A move welcomed by the Education Union.
These are very welcome changes. TAFE really suffered under the Marshall government.
The attention now turning to the restoration of courses in regional TAFE campuses.
I'm very happy to look at that. I've asked the department, in this case TAFE, really, to provide me with information. I'm certainly not ruling that out by any stretch of the imagination.
I understand those discussions are occurring, and what we know is the private providers don't go out to the country because they can't make a profit. So then it falls really to government.
Last year, the member for Giles, Eddie Hughes, raised concerns about the cutting of the hairdressing course in Whyalla. The initial decision was reversed, with enrolments open for this year. Andrew Gold highlighting the importance of TAFE in the regions.
What it does is provide a high-level qualified workforce for employers, and what we know is that employers have faith in TAFE.
Mark Zeta, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The official opening might be tonight, but the much-anticipated Salt Festival is already in full swing. A three-piece Cuban band performed in Cummins last night, kicking off their tour of the region.
The sounds of Cuba swaying its way into the region. Sabora, Cuba kicked off the Salt Festival this year ahead of its official opening. Frontman Lazaro Numa taking the people of Cummins into the heart of Havana.
It's lovely to see them, singing and dancing along too, especially because for us we're playing music in Spanish as well, and then just getting them to sing the choruses of the songs and then getting them to dance was really good.
The band's percussionist says it's good to be playing on the Eyre Peninsula, a place he once called home.
From El Salvador, I went to Whyalla. I lived there for a few months. So, like I said, I'm from regional Australia.
The band covering a range of songs, from their own originals to recognisable hits. And the party is only just getting started.
We're going to Sriggy Bay tomorrow, and then in a couple of days we'll be playing in Barra as well. Yeah, so we've got 2 more shows.
For all other SALT events, you can purchase tickets at the Nautilus Arts Centre or from their website. Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us. Whyalla Council to continue its mask mandate in local buildings. And a Broken Hill amateur astronomer recognised for reaching for the stars. Hello again. The Whyalla City Council has decided to keep a mask mandate for council buildings, citing the number of active cases in the city. Council says the decision was made to protect its staff and the community. Mask rules were relaxed before Easter by the state government, with health services one of the few remaining centres requiring masks. As of this afternoon, there are 539 active cases in Whyalla. The Reach Foundation has appointed former AFL player Fergus Watts as its new CEO. Mr. Watts is looking to continue its efforts in helping young people with their social and emotional well-being. Part of that model will see workshops held in regional areas.
So we deliver workshops all around the country. We fly our facilitators in. We deliver 10 or 15 workshops within a week in different schools in different regions, and then we fly back.
He also says they want to help young people with their challenges before they manifest. More than 800,000 people have enrolled to vote in next month's federal election, a 4.9% increase since 2019. The AEC also pleased with the high number of young people who have registered. Mark Zeta has the details.
The latest figures from the Australian Electoral Commission show more than 123,000 people have registered to vote in the Division of Grey ahead of next month's election. They will join more than 17 million people nationwide who are registered to vote. The AEC noting a 4.9% increase in the number of enrolled electors compared to the previous federal election in 2019. In a statement, Electoral Commissioner Tom Rogers says, with nearly 97% of eligible Australians enrolled, the figures are a source of Australian democratic pride. Their efforts resulted in more than 80,000 young Australians aged between 18 to 24 enrolling to vote, with more than 88% of the age cohort ready to have their say in the polls. In the Division of Grey, 9,125 people in the same age bracket in total can vote next month. SA Electoral Officer Cameron Stokes telling 7 Spencer Golf News last week the AEC is expecting a high in-person turnout despite the COVID pandemic.
We would still expect the vast majority of people to be able to vote in person as they always have.
Voters will head to the polls on Saturday, May 21, with early voting opening on May 9.
A Broken Hill man with a love for the stars has received recognition for his contributions to astronomy. Trevor Barry was thrilled to be honoured, saying the sky's the limit for his hobby.
The backyard astronomer being recognised for his contribution to the science. Winning the Berenice and Arthur Page medal last weekend, the local stargazer was humbled by the award.
Still pinching myself. It was such a humbling experience to get that sort of recognition from the professional body in Australia. It's the highest honour.
His love for space began with a former colleague he worked with at the mines. The first look through his friend's telescope taking him to a whole new world.
He just pointed out this point of light, that's what we're going to look at. and I looked and it just blew me away. It was Saturn.
Mr. Barry is amazed at how such an isolated city can produce so many talented people.
It's amazing how the Broken Hill people like the fields that they've excelled in. You know, of course, mining and the arts and definitely sport.
His advice for those reaching for the stars: always start with astronomy binoculars.
Oh, look, the number of people that contact me, what telescope should they get for their niece, nephew, grandson, granddaughter? And I always actually encourage them to get a pair of binoculars.
Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. We preview the opening round of local footy. And we'll have the long weekend weather details with Alex Sykes. Hello again. After a long off-season, local footy returns this weekend across the region. With a preview, here's our experts with their tips.
Hello and welcome to round 1 of SGL football. This round sees traditional rivals Solihull and Port set to battle it out on Memorial Oval in an ANZAC Day clash. Solihull should take the points there. Up in Port Augusta, it's a double-header. Reigning premiers Lions make the trip, and they should take on West in the first game. Lions should take the points in that one. And in the second match, South take on Central. South have added a few players back into their squad and are looking the goods again this season. I'll be tipping South.
Round 1 of Wildlife football finally gets underway this weekend, and as usual we play each other in the order that we finish. So we start with the grand final rematch Saturday at Bennett Oval, Maroona Bay versus Central Whyalla. Hard to tip in round 1, but we'll go with the reigning premiers in Central. The other game will be on Saturday at Memorial Oval, West Whyalla versus North Whyalla. These two teams always play a good game, especially at Memorial Oval, and we'll stick with West to win a close one. And finally on Sunday, the two teams that didn't play finals last year, it's Rapina versus South at Bennett Oval. I think Roos with a couple of recruits will see them get a close win on Sunday.
We kick things off with Boston's hosting Mallee Park at Poole Oval. Boston, they were on the way up last year. However, I think Mallee Park, they're always the unknown. I'm going to go with them. I'm not sure what they're going to produce, but we've got Mallee Park to win this one by 4 goals. In the next game, we've got Tasman's hosting Lincoln South at Ravendale Oval. South looked really good last year, but wow, Tasmans have recruited exceptionally. I'm going to tip Tasmans to win this one and probably win this one by 6 goals. In the last game on Monday, we got the reigning premiers, Marble Range, hosting Waybacks at Centenary Oval. It's going to be hard to tip against Marble Range. They were so dominant last year and they look to be going strong again this year. I'm tipping Marble Range to win this one. I think 2 goals.
Time now to check the long weekend weather forecast across the Spencer Gulf and Broken Hill. With the details, here's Alex Sykes.
Thanks, John. And well, tomorrow is looking good, but unfortunately rain is in store for the rest of the long weekend. Let's first take a squiz at today's conditions, which were mild but clear across the region. From 3 p.m, Whyalla was partly cloudy and 20 degrees. Over the border in Broken Hill, it reached 17, and Kadina was partly cloudy and 19. Looking further out across the region, our Port Augusta was partly cloudy and 23. It was mostly sunny in Port Pirie, also 23. Our friends in Adelaide were partly cloudy and 19. Same in Cleve. Woodner was 22, Clare reached 18, and Cooper Pedy was partly cloudy and 25. Taking a look at the satellite image now, low cloud pushing west through South Australia's south with onshore winds is bringing light showers to coastal areas. High cloud skimming east over the state with a trough is not rain bearing. Mostly clear in the far north with high pressure and a drier air mass. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. East to southeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas around 1 metre, and south to southwesterly swell 1.5 to 2.5 metres. Partly cloudy in Port Lincoln tomorrow with 20 degrees, Cleve to reach 19, and Woodner will be mostly sunny and set to reach a top of 22 degrees there. Mostly sunny in Upper Spencer Gulf, Whyalla to reach 21, Port Augusta with a high of 24 degrees, and Kadina is set for 23. Mostly sunny in Port Pirie with 25, Clare will reach a high of 20 degrees, and Broken Broken Hill will be partly cloudy and 23. Taking a look further through the week now, showers across most of the region on Sunday. Possible shower developing in Whyalla with 24. Rain at times in Woodner also 24. Port Lincoln is set to reach 22. Kadina and Adelaide are both set for 25. Broken Hill will be partly cloudy and 24. To Monday now, and it's looking like those showers are continuing. Possible heavy falls in Woodner with 20 degrees. Similar conditions in Port Lincoln with 21 there. Whyalla and Broken Hill both to reach 23. Port Pirie will have a shower or two in 26. Cooper Pedy set to reach only 21 degrees. Conditions clearing in Woodner and Cooper Pedy on Tuesday with partly cloudy conditions there. Showers expected across the rest of the region. Whyalla and Kadina both 24, Port Augusta 25 and Broken Hill will reach 21 degrees. Well, I hope those conditions don't put a damper on your plans this weekend, John. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. It's back to you.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news for tonight and the week. Just a reminder, you can follow us on social media at our Facebook, Twitter and YouTube pages. I'm John Hunt, thanks for your company. I'll have updates later, and we will be back on Monday at 7 p.m. Enjoy your weekend. Good night.